Warm greetings, compassionate viewers. I'm Joshua from charming Richmond in Texas, USA. We, the considerate American people, send you our most sincere wishes for a life of peace and spiritual contentment in God's grace. The Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish apocalyptic religious text which describes the intensity of the antediluvian pre-flood time period. This scripture is considered to have been written by Enoch, a venerated patriarch and great-grandfather of Noah. After his son Methuselah was born, Enoch began to walk with God, that is, he began to seek, to know, to serve, and to pray to God. And he continued this for the next 300 years. Throughout his life, he visited heaven in his visions and dreams. At the age of 365, Enoch disappeared because God took him away, straight to heaven, for he was pleasing to God. The Book of Enoch contains unique material on why the Great Flood was morally necessary, why some angels fell from heaven, and prophetic revelations of the 1,000-year reign of the Messiah. But the main message is one of hope, that God will be the guiding light for those who are righteous. Today, we present to you from the Book of Enoch, the Book of Parables, selection from the second parable, part 1 of 2. The second parable, about those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and of the Lord of the spirits. They will not ascend into heaven, nor will they come upon the earth. Such will be the lot of the sinners who deny the name of the Lord of the spirits, who will thus be kept for the day of affliction and distress. On that day, the chosen one will sit on the throne of glory and will choose their works, and their resting places will be without number, and their spirits within them will grow strong when they see my chosen one and those who appeal to my holy and glorious name. And on that day, I will cause my chosen one to dwell among them, and I will transform heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light. And I will transform the dry ground and make it a blessing, and I will cause my chosen ones to dwell upon it. But those who commit sin and evil will not tread upon it. For I have seen and have satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and I have placed them in front of me. But for the sinners, my judgment draws near. And there I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool. And with him there was another, whose face had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of grace, like one of the holy angels. And I asked one of the holy angels who went with me and showed me all the secrets about that Son of Man, who he was, and from where he was, and why he went with the head of days. And he answered me and said to me, This is the Son of Man, who has righteousness, and with whom righteousness dwells. He will reveal all the treasures of that which is secret, for the Lord of spirits has chosen him, and through uprightness his lot has surpassed all others in front of the Lord of spirits forever. And this Son of Man, who you have seen, will rouse the kings and the powerful from their resting places, and the strong from their thrones, and will loose the reins of the strong. And he will cast down the kings from their thrones and from their kingdoms, for they do not humbly acknowledge from where their kingdom was given to them. And he will cast down the faces of the strong, and shame will fill them, and darkness will be their dwelling, and worms will be their resting place. And they will have no hope of rising from their resting places, for they do not exalt the name of the Lord of spirits. And these are they who judge the stars of heaven, and raise their hands against the Most High, and trample upon the dry ground, and dwell upon it. And all their deeds show iniquity, and their power rest on their riches, and their faith is in their gods that they have made with their hands, and they deny the name of the Lord of spirits, and they will be driven from the houses of his congregation, and of the faithful who depend on the name of the Lord of the spirits. And in those days the prayer of the righteous and the blood of the righteous will have ascended from the earth in front of the Lord of the spirits. In these days the holy ones who will live in heaven above will unite with one voice, and supplicate, and pray, and praise, and give thanks, and bless in the name of the Lord of spirits. Because of the blood of the righteous that has been poured out, and because of the prayer of the righteous, so that it may not cease in front of the Lord of the spirits, so that justice may be done to them, and their patience may not have to last forever. And in those days I saw the head of days sit down on the throne of his glory, and the books of the living were opened in front of him, and all his host, which dwell in the heavens above, and his council were standing in front of him. And the hearts of the holy ones were full of joy that the number of righteous has been reached, and the prayer of the righteous had been heard, and the blood of the righteous had not been required in front of the Lord of spirits. And in that place I saw an inexhaustible spring of righteousness, and many springs of wisdom surrounded it. And all the thirsty drank from them and were filled with wisdom, and their dwelling was with the righteous and the holy and the chosen. And at that hour that Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name brought to the head of days. Even before the sun and the constellations were created, before the stars of heaven were made, his name was named in front of the Lord of spirits. He will be a staff to the righteous and the holy, so that they may lean on him and not fall. And he will be the light of the nations, and he will be the hope of those who grieve in their hearts. All those who dwell upon the dry ground will fall down and worship in front of him, and they will bless and praise and celebrate with psalms the name of the Lord of spirits. And because of this he was chosen and hidden in front of him before the world was created and forever. But the wisdom of the Lord of spirits has revealed him to the holy and the righteous. For he has kept safe the lot of the righteous, for they have hated and rejected this world of iniquity, and all its works and its ways they have hated in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved, and he is the one who will require their lives. In those days, the kings of the earth and the strong who possess the dry ground will have downcast faces because of the works of their hands. For on the day of their distress and trouble, they will not save themselves. And I will give them into the hands of my chosen ones. And on the day of their trouble, there will be rest on the earth, and they will fall down in front of him and will not rise. And there will be no one who will take them with his hands and raise them, for they denied the Lord of spirits and his Messiah. May the name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. For wisdom has been poured out like water, and glory will not fail in front of him forever and ever. For he is powerful, in all the secrets of righteousness and iniquity will pass away like a shadow, and will have no existence, for the chosen one stands in front of the Lord of spirits, and his glory is forever and ever, and his power for all generations. And in him dwelled the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit that gives understanding, and the spirit of knowledge and of power, and the spirit of those who sleep in righteousness. And he will judge the things that are secret, and no one will be able to say an idle word in front of him. For he has been chosen in front of the Lord of spirits, in accordance with his wish. Righteous viewers, thank you for your kind presence on today's Words of Wisdom.